What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got some squirrels out here. It's really windy here as well, so hopefully it doesn't mess up the audio. But just a quick video. I want to talk about high blood pressure. And I just want to give some of my opinions. I think that, and again, these are just, before we get into this, let me just say this. These are just my opinions. I'm not saying that they're medical fact. You've got to say things like this to be safe here online nowadays, but in my opinion, I think blood pressure pills are handed out like candy on Halloween. It's amazing how many people are on these. And it's also amazing how many people are on these or get put on them when there's so many underlying issues that aren't addressed before the doctor gives you the pill. So again, these are just my opinions, and I have the right to share my opinions. But it's, again, kind of strange to me. You go in, you get your blood pressure checked. If it's too high, you get put on a medication. And what's crazy to me is a lot of people don't really ever research the side effects of these medications, of which there are many. Every medication has multiple different side effects. Haven't you ever watched a commercial for a medication on the television? First 90% of the commercial is all happy-go-lucky, and then at the end, really quickly, they talk really fast and they give you all the symptoms. May increase your risk of, death, and just a long list of other things. So to me, the potential side effects aren't worth taking the medication, but that's just me. It's also pretty disingenuous, in my opinion, how they advertise these commercials. They'll have some man or a woman in some dark, dreary environment. The clouds are overhead and there's crows making noise in the background. Everything's just not going good. There's like animated question marks above the person's head, and all these little symbols of misfortune. And then the medication comes into the person's life and the clouds part. The grass is green. There's like flowing streams and just purity. Come on. What do you think that they're trying to tell you subconsciously? And that's what it is. It's a subconscious program. So, again, what they're essentially saying to you symbolically is that everything going wrong in your world will be fixed with this. So it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. But let's talk about high blood pressure. In my opinion, this is largely caused by diet, lack of proper hydration, and lifestyle. Stress. Now, when you combine stress with bad diet and improper hydration, you are going to redline your motor, metaphorically speaking. And that's kind of what we can consider excessive high blood pressure. We can consider it, redlining the motor. But in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, having some high blood pressure isn't some sign that if you don't pop a blood pressure lowering pill, you're going to die in the next 10 minutes. If anything, it's a symptom or a sign that you just need to change a few things. The body's intelligences are incredibly, again, intelligent. We live in a divine machine, this body. So from my perspective, I don't like tampering with the body. I try to get out of the way of the body so that it can do what it needs. And that's more often than not what we do here in the Matrix. We get in the way of the body's healing mechanisms activating by eating garbage food and not blocking blue light and just a long handful of things. It's like we're constantly picking a scab instead of letting it fully heal. So I'm just going to give my opinion on high blood pressure really quickly. I'm going to try to keep this one under 10 minutes. Unfortunately, I'd like to go about an hour on this one, but I want to keep it short. Magnesium deficiencies are through the roof here in the Matrix. And low magnesium is directly linked to having high blood pressure. Now, what's interesting is that when you're stressed, when you're experiencing environmental stress from all the heavy metals in our environment, when you're experiencing emotional stress, this, that, and the other, your body burns through its magnesium reserves as a stress buffer. The Creator designed you in such a brilliant way that you use magnesium, other minerals, and other constituents in your body when you're stressed. It's like a buffer, if you will. You can kind of consider it as like motor oil. Keeps things lubricated, it keeps things going when you're enduring stress. Now, unfortunately, there's such chronic stress here that we are chronically stressed, emotionally, physically. We're exhausted, we don't get good sleep, we don't block blue light, we're not grounded to the earth, you name it. Now, all of this creates an underlying, recurring, perpetual flow of stress that not only depletes us of our magnesium over time, because again, your body burns through magnesium when it's in stress, but you start to burn through your B vitamins and your other mineral reserves, you name it. So you get to a point where you're worn down, but your odometer, or not your odometer, you get to a point where you're worn down, but your tachometer, it's still revving. It's up in the red line. You've got the pedal to the floor, but you're low on oil, you're low on coolant, you name it. So first and foremost, I would consider looking into magnesium. I would also look into the magnesium-calcium balance. I would research Dr. Peter Glidden to learn more about this, the naturopathic doctor, and I would also look into Dr. Joel Wallach's work, as well as Dr. Steven Sinatra, the cardiologist. There's plenty of information out there, folks. So magnesium, and I'm not going to suggest any amounts or anything like that. I want you to do a little bit more research because everybody's different, and what works for me may or may not work for you. But I will tell you that I take magnesium pretty much daily, and I make sure to keep enough calcium in my diet as well, because we know through research that even calcium deficiencies are directly related to hypertension. There's a balance between calcium and magnesium. So on top of that, folks, I would look into calcium and magnesium. I would start grounding yourself to the earth for 15 minutes a day minimum. I would especially start blocking the blue light when the sun goes down, and I have multiple protocols on this channel on how to do that with the UVAC Skyper glasses. This will allow you to produce significant amounts of endogenous melatonin through your pineal pathway so that you can get good quality sleep, because lack of sleep in tandem with mineral deficiencies, magnesium deficiencies, stress, all of this stuff, that will drive you directly into high blood pressure because you'll be stressed. So coenzyme Q10 is another good one to look into in tandem with magnesium therapy. Hawthorn berry for building and strengthening the heart, as well as cayenne pepper, and a handful of other things. But in this video, I want to focus on one major thing that can really help people, in my opinion, lower their blood pressure, and that is mitigation and attenuation through stress through the full body relaxation exercise. I'm going to put a link in the description box below to that particular exercise. Now that video, the link in the description box below needs to be updated. It's old. I need to make a lengthier video where I really tell you how the full body relaxation exercise works. Essentially what it's going to teach you to do, if you do it over time, is it's going to teach you to use your mind to relax your muscles, to relax your organs, to relax your entire body. If you do the full body relaxation exercise consecutively, if you do it continually, even if you only do it 3 days a week, if you did it for an hour, 3 days a week, you're going to unburden your body's stress levels 10,000-fold. You're also going to start to see, through doing the full body relaxation exercise, that your mind has a direct influence and control over your body and its stress levels. We carry psychosomatic stress in our muscle memory. The full body relaxation exercise will show you how to relax your muscles and start to delete. It will teach you how to delete the stress that's literally weaved into your muscle memory. We walk around with a lot of stress in our muscles. Anytime we're stressed, we're anxious, we have anxiety. Anytime we go through an embarrassing experience, you name it, there's like a little memory of it that gets stuck in our muscle tissues. And this is why people over the years, over time, when they have a lot of stress, like their arms get really tight, their legs get really tight. We carry stress in our body and we don't work it out. We're like pizza dough that was never rolled out. We gotta roll our issues out. So it's not just a matter of, oh, you take magnesium, oh, you get enough calcium in your diet. It's not a matter of just, oh, I take coenzyme Q10, or, I take Hawthorn or GABA or any of these other things. There's an underlying level of stress that needs to be mitigated, and the full body relaxation exercise can really help you do that. Now, on top of that, obviously, there should be some dietary intervention, potential supplementation, and especially the blocking of blue light. If you're not blocking blue light, you are not producing melatonin to the extent that you should. The Creator designed us so that when we are in the absence of light, our pineal gland and these pathways start to secrete endogenous melatonin. This exerts an antioxidant effect over your entire body, and it also regulates your wake and sleep cycles, your circadian rhythm. Melatonin, endogenous melatonin that your body produces, will calm you down, will lower stress, will let your body actually enter into deep states of peace and regeneration. So long story short, years of not blocking the blue light, being exposed to and being fried by all the artificial light from these devices, our smartphones, tablets, LEDs, you name it, has completely fried you. It has completely fried your brain. It has fried your cells, your skin, and your organs. It has also given you something known as endless summer syndrome. T.S. Wiley explains what this is very well in her book, Lights Out, Sleep, Sugar, and Survival. I call it toxic light syndrome. Toxic light syndrome is when you've had endless summer syndrome for over a year, and everyone watching this right now, there's a good chance that you all have it, myself included. So when the sun goes down, you put the UVAC Skyber blue blocker glasses on and you let your brain heal. You attenuate the quality of lighting that you use in your home, and you start grounding yourself. Lack of rest is something that is directly and intimately connected to high blood pressure in tandem with magnesium deficiencies and a handful of other things. And it's really concerning to me that the average and typical practitioner of health or a doctor doesn't really address all of these things, these nuances, when he or she sees a patient. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form telling you not to take a high blood pressure medication. You do what you've got to do. And I'm not saying that in some situations medications aren't beneficial, because they are. But I think that these things are starting to be distributed like candy, like Pez machines, and I think it's irresponsible medically, but that's just my opinion. So we know through research that like the statins, the cholesterol lowering drugs, etc., they're now being linked to dementia and a handful of other issues. So are the potential side effects worth the immediate relief in the present moment? Or would it be more intelligent to completely reassess your lifestyle, your dietary intake, your stress levels, and your lighting, your grounding, and then maybe through that readjust your internal clock, so to speak, to calibrate everything? Because right now we are a species that is not calibrated. We are out of alignment. And until we get back into alignment, how could we ever be in alignment? You can't how would I explain this? Right now, people with the excessive medications, they're like a clock that's out of alignment, that instead of you going to a clocksmith or whatever they call a clock worker to have the gears and everything adjusted, you'd rather just like put a fake faceplate on the front that tells the right time, instead of like fixing your like deepest imbalances. I hope that makes sense. Artificial symptom management does not get rid of the underlying cause. Anyways, you guys, there's a lot more that can be said about that. I'm just going to wrap this one up. Peace be with you. I wanted to personally thank you for watching my videos and contributing to the growth of my channel. I could not do this without you, and your interest in my content is truly what motivates me and fuels my passion for making these videos and spreading my message. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to remind you that this channel is a free educational tool that is listener supported, and if you would like to donate to my channel and donate to my cause,
help make my life a little bit easier and help keep the lights on around here, you can do so by checking out the links in the description box below. There's a handful of not only ways to donate to my channel, but I also have links to different websites and different videos of mine, as well as my Amazon store, where you can check out a plethora of different health-related products that I use and recommend. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your continued interest in my message, and until next time, peace be with you all.